from a new customer base, you might have a little bit less demand today. Our existing customer base is very healthy, very stable. We're able to implement rate strategies and revenue management strategies and length of stays at all-time highs. And so once we get a customer in the door, their behaviors once they're in the building are very, very stable and solid.
Joining me today is Dave Cramer, President and CEO of National Storage Affiliates Trust. So Dave, how would you describe the broader themes you're seeing in self-storage demand today, and how is NSA responding?
Yeah, really good question. We're in an environment today where we're still moderating from some really strong historical comps. And so as we look at the environment today compared to where we were in 2021 and 2022, certainly the demand for our product is less than it was during the pandemic times. And with that change, we also have higher interest rate environment, which has muted the housing market and the transition around the country. And so one of the drivers of our product is transition. And when the housing market has slowed and people are not buying and selling homes, it's certainly put a little bit of pressure on top of the funnel and new customer demand. The teams are doing a really good job managing the levers we use to get new customers into our buildings and into our storage product, looking at marketing spend and looking at pricing and discounting and trying to really keep our conversion rates where we want them to be. But it's very dynamic right now, and so we're facing some challenges around entry-level pricing and how we handle those challenges. The better part of this story, though, is our existing customer base. So, from a new customer base, you might have a little bit less demand today. Our existing customer base is very healthy, very stable. We're able to implement rate strategies and revenue management strategies and length of stays at all-time highs. And so once we get a customer in the door, their behaviors once they're in the building are very, very stable and solid.
And as you meet with investors, are you hearing certain questions come up more often than others, and how are you responding to them?
Yeah, kind of what we were talking about just a minute ago is that there's a lot of questions around occupancy and street rate. And so I think our investor base is seeing the declines in occupancy numbers, and that would concern them, and certainly seeing the change in street rates and the street rate environment. Again, going back to a very unrealistic comp in 21 and 22. I mean, if you really look at where we've come since 2019 to where we are today, a 5-year average of 9% NOI growth is a very, very strong result. And so we've gone through this really good time, and now we're settling back into more normal times. From our standpoint, our markets are responding the way we think they should respond as far as market equilibrium and the amount of demand for our storage. And so our occupancy levels and our rate levels, we believe, are being managed very well, and we're in a good position. We think it's a short-term focus. I mean, we're a little more long-term in our focus. And so, as we get through these tough comps and cycle some of these bits of information that investors are studying, I think the confidence level will come back to a really good sector and a really good company to be in the sector in.
And as you look ahead to 24, where do you see the greatest potential for growth?
We've been investing a lot in what we call our people, process, and platforms, our 3 Ps. And we've been working very hard on acquiring new talent on our team, and it's really been around the data sciences area. We feel, we've improved our data warehouse environment, we've improved the platform, the technologies. We need the team members to help us implement the vision we have around using that data and really applying that data to our business. And if you look at the improvements in that people, process, and platforms, that would be in areas around, revenue management and around acquiring new customers and really maximizing the customer once they're with us and their length of stay and making sure that we get the right revenue management practices. That team is taking what we have now in a new data warehouse and implementing, artificial intelligence. So we're able to actually use logic from the machine, take the workload off our plates, and really put the practices in play that make us more operationally efficient. Will certainly make us drive revenue better in the future. And we just are really excited about it. If you look at the level of talent we have on our team today versus what we had 2 or 3 years ago, it's greatly improved in numbers, but also in just talent itself. And we want to make sure we have the right tools for that talent to use in the future.